Boxing King Media, in association with BYD. Mr. Gareth A. Davies, you look like you're fresh out the shower.
No, I'm not anymore. I was earlier when we tried to do this, and our internet was unstable. And since then, I've recorded my William Hill for the week. I've picked the leaves up from the newly mown lawn and put them in the brown bin.
Who mowed your lawn? Lawn, should I say?
My gardener, you know that I've got a gardener and a housekeeper. There's no need to keep going over this. As
I
you
knew,
said,
I knew you had a housekeeper. I didn't know you had a gardener.
yeah, a gardener. Yeah,
No, why not, Gareth? Hey,
why not?
right, Gareth. I'm gonna jump straight into it. Well, I don't want to call it breaking news, but Anthony Joshua has just put a post out saying,
Yeah,
"Nearly finished negotiations for my next fight.
yeah.
Um, Feeling motivated." What's your gut instinct saying, Gareth? Who's this guy that he's finished
He's
negotiating?
motivated to destroy the dynamite. Put it that way, I think. I mean, it's an open secret that it's Daniel Dubois they've been talking about. Deontay Wilder had his chance if he'd beaten Zhilei Zhang out in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, but he didn't. Zhilei Zhang would have been a good opponent for Anthony Joshua as well, by the way. Top 5 in the world right now. I don't agree with the WBC that Joshua goes in ahead of Fury that they've just put out today. But I think he's hinting at this press conference that we're all going to be at late next week or middle of next week. But actually about a week away, isn't it? That it will be Daniel Dubois. It works. Dubois probably deserves it in balance, but Zhilei Zhang does as well. I make Zhang number 5 in the world, Parker 3, Joshua 3, Fury 2. Sorry, Zhang 5, Parker 4, Joshua 3, Fury 2, and Usyk 1 at the moment. I don't understand why Joshua is ahead of Fury in the WBC rankings. Doesn't make any sense to me that have just come out.
Well, why doesn't it? Why do you think? Just from your perspective, why do you think Tyson should still be like ahead of him in the rankings?
Because I still think Fury beats Joshua. I don't think the wins against Otto Wallin and Francis Ngannou necessarily put Joshua ahead of Tyson Fury, who had a very, very close fight with Alexander Usyk. It was a very close fight. I know he had a 10-8 round there, and Joshua wasn't put down or destroyed by Usyk. But it's just boxing. It's a sport of opinion. It's just the algorithm. It's interesting to discuss. There's no doubt about that.
What do you think? What factors are like made in making that decision? Like the WBC, I know they all get together. The committee gets
They've
together.
got a rankings committee. Yeah, yeah.
So how is it a case of somebody knows someone or somebody puts money in somewhere or what?
No,
Who
they've looked at it as a group, and they think on balance of Anthony Joshua's performances against Francis Ngannou and Usyk that he deserves to be ahead of Fury. They are right in some senses that the gap between if you're a boxing aficionado, if you're a boxing insider, you can't but say the gap between Fury and Joshua has closed slightly, given what's happened in recent times since last October. The loss to Usyk by Fury's loss to Usyk, and also the very close fight with Francis Ngannou that I believe Fury won. But I just don't believe I wouldn't rank Joshua above Fury right now. That's all. I just wouldn't rank him above him.
And there was obviously talk from Eddie Hearn suggesting that if the IBF belt is not on the line, as in the full belt,
Yeah.
they may not go down the Dubois route. Do you think he was telling the truth, or was he just kind of like take the attention off Dubois?
Well, who else are we going to see Anthony Joshua face at Wembley?
Zhang. I think Zhang's the name that they mentioned.
Yeah, no, but Zhang deserves his opportunity based on his performances, but so does Joseph Parker, therefore. Joseph Parker, in some ways, deserves more of an opportunity in a rematch against Anthony Joshua. And what was a close fight between them, all those years ago. I think it was WBO belt was on the line at the time, wasn't it? So Joseph Parker's got just as much a right to be fighting Anthony Joshua as Zhili Zhang does, as Daniel Dubois does. And Joseph Parker has a following in the UK. Listen, we might get the curveball and it might be Joseph Parker. You never know. We don't absolutely know who Anthony Joshua is facing, but we know with Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren working very closely together. Frank said nothing in the last couple of weeks about that. He's been keeping stum about it, and I think the signs are that it is going to be those two.
Well, well, I don't know what you think of the potential Wembley date. What do you think sells more at Wembley, or will it sell out anyway because it'll be a Riyadh season card? Is it going to be Parker, Zhang, or Dubois? Which one of them three do you think sells out against AJ, or do you think AJ sells out against anyone?
Yeah, AJ is a mainstream crossover star, and he does huge numbers at Wembley. He'll do 60,000 at Wembley just on his own. And you put an undercard together that arguably is going to include Hamza Shiraz against Chris Eubank Jr. There's talk of Fabio Wardley and Fraser Clark. I can't confirm any of those, by the way. And I'm hearing, I wanted Nick Ball and Noya Nui on there as well against each other. That was the fight that I was trying to tease, that I'd love to see, trying to plant that in the minds of the promoters, because anything's possible right now, isn't it? But I'd love to see Noya Nui against one of the good featherweights, one of the featherweight world champions. And I think Nick will do the matchup. But that's been ruled out, by the way, on that card. So it'll be a massive undercard. Hopefully it's only 6 or 7 fights. Hopefully there's 60,000 in there at 6 p.m. in the evening. And hopefully we go home at 11 o'clock very happy. Daniel Dubois, though, if he fights Anthony Joshua, has got to take it to him. He's got to be aggressive in that fight. He can't sit back. He's got to go from the off, in my view. Obviously, have a feeling out process, but he's got to be very aggressive. He's got to take everything he's learned in the Alexander Usyk fight, the Flip Hrgovic fight, and the Jarrell Miller fight, and put them all into action at the same time. And he could upset the apple cart. But I do see Joshua. I see it as a 60-40 fight for Joshua.
So just based on rumors, what do you think the main event will be? We're gonna try and put this card together. See if we get it right.
Joshua against Daniel Dubois.
Chief support.
Hamza Shiraz against Chris Eubank Jr.
And then maybe another 3-4 bangers on there.
Fabio Wardley, Fraser Clark.
Seen Willie Hutchins put something out on Twitter, on his Instagram, saying big fight news coming. So no doubt he'll be.
Yeah, but I can't. It's a bit soon for him to be back in there, in my view. But maybe it isn't. Maybe it isn't. Yeah, he'll be on it then. Yeah, he'll be on it. Maybe it'll be him against
Watsy.
Yeah. If they can't get Watsy Yard fight over the line.
So AJ Dubois, Wardley Clark 2, Willie Hutchinson versus Buatsi, Hamza Shiraz Eubank. That's a serious card.
I don't know who the other ones are on there, by the way. I think I had a conversation about it a long time ago, but so much has passed, so much water's passed under the bridge since then that I'm not sure that I'm familiar with the last 2 fights.
I would assume this week now will be the week where they're doing the final negotiations, contracts, all that kind of stuff. So it'll be an intense week to get a response from anyone, I'm guessing, because Eddie's already kind of said that he's not going to reveal anything. It's down for His Excellency to make the announcements.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that is the way they want to do it, because they are keeping fairly stum about it. And they're keeping us guessing and throwing a few red herrings about Joshua and Dubois. But I'm kind of 85% sure it'll be that fight. Okay.
And the last thing I'm going to speak to you about, I spoke to Barry McGuigan at the weekend, and obviously he had an article that did a lot of numbers online about the Fury Usyk prediction, and I asked him if he felt Fury could make the adjustments to win a potential rematch, and he's basically not giving him any chance, saying that Usyk was denied a knockout and that he'll win the rematch. I just want to get your thoughts.
Well, he wasn't denied a knockout because, it was a standing 8 count. He wasn't denied the knockout because Fury had recovered by the next round, and we got a tremendous 12 rounds out of it, and hence a very, very interesting and intriguing rematch. I think a standing 8 count is there in the rules. It wasn't like the referee was protecting him. It was like a tower being toppled for a minute in that round. It was extraordinary. it made for a better contest and a better event. I think what Barry's referring to, the adjustments that Fury has to make against Usyk, make him more vulnerable. And technically, Usyk, over the course of that fight, looked a better boxer. He pressed the space. He had notably a 3-punch combination that he was working over and over again. He caught Fury in the end by his own efficacy and diligence during the fight. He never gave up on his game plan when he was having problems in rounds 4, 5, and 6, when he was being peppered from range and hurt to the body and hit by uppercuts. And he came through that. But there's enough in what Fury did in the first 6 rounds to come back and do it again and implement what he was doing, which was enjoying a period of dominance against Usyk. They're both not getting any younger. But I think what Barry's referring to is if Fury commits more, which he needs to do in this fight, and be bigger and put more weight on Usyk and show what he is naturally, the bigger, heavier man, he makes himself more vulnerable. And I can see what he's seeing, which is Usyk could exploit that as well and could be even more dramatic this time. He's got to go out there and leave it all on the line, Fury, though, for me. The big thing is Hart wants him to win, because I want to see him fight Anthony Joshua. To go back to that original thing which we spoke about today, which is that, you know, people are starting to rank Anthony Joshua as high, if not higher, than Fury is ranked. Father Time is unforgiving. The sport is unforgiving. Age is an unforgiving process. You know, as we've seen with Mike Tyson getting his injury ahead of Jake Paul, and maybe that fight will never happen. I just want to see 2 or 3 fights happen in the heavyweight division we've wished for a very long time. Usyk Fury 2, Joshua and Fury 1 and 2, and then potentially Joshua's trilogy fight with, or it might be with Fury if they have 2 amazing fights, but Joshua's trilogy fight with Usyk to see if he has got better under Ben Davison. The fight with Joseph Parker and Anthony Joshua. You know, these are all fights that we'd all love to see. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing Zhilei Zhang and Usyk. I wouldn't mind seeing Zhilei Zhang and Anthony Joshua. We've lost Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder. Where's my questions today?
I wanted to do them in person. What event are you at next?
I can't even remember right now. It's been so many weeks on the road, because last weekend I was with Roy Jones Jr. and Chris Cyborg at the Crypto Fight Night off-chain one event that I was presenting at Indigo, and Roy Jones walked out Tony Lightning rapping his own song. It was so brilliant. You know, people forget how great Roy Jones Jr. was. I did ask him if he was going to be in the corner with Chris Eubank. He said, no, I don't know anything about that right now. So you haven't prepped the questions. You haven't got one, no?
No, I want to save them. I want to save them. I'm pretty sure people are aware of your paddleboarding. I'm sure there'll be some questions
That's
about
where
your
I'm going right now. So I'm going right now.
in paddleboarding, aren't you? Straight after
We're
this.
going through 2 hours on the river. What beautiful weather it is.
That's a secret to Gareth Davies's weight loss and looking all young and trim, and the tan. Am I right?
Well, just like being outdoors, you know, like you, I need to look after my health. You know, we need the health of Boxing King Media at 100%. Like I need to be at 100%. I've just done doing in London fight on the road, Newcastle, PFL, Savannah Marshall's debut in MMA. That was really thrilling. Working the broadcasts, 3 in a row in the Middle East, one Abu Dhabi in the middle of 2 Riyadh weeks, and you know how busy those 2 weeks were. It's just non-stop. I mean, and I'm not complaining about it, but you're on 3-4 hours of sleep a night, and it takes it out of you, and you need to do the exercise at the other end of it, and just take your downtimes. I'm finishing a book at the moment. I've got a movie coming up. I've got my 8th Paralympic Games in August, September. There's a trip to Los Angeles for that big card. There's loads to do. I'm taking a little break because of the Euros, but I'm not at Tyler Denny and and Felix Cash this weekend, but I'll be watching it. I just favour Felix Cash, but if he's ring rusty after being out since December the 22nd, Tyler Denny's been on fire. Listen, I also think Liam Parrow did a brilliant thing in Puerto Rico against Subriel Matias. Tank Davis looks more and more, if he can hold it on track, like he's headed towards #1 pound for pound in the world. He owned Frank Martin in the build-up last week, made him look really, really uncomfortable, and showed how brilliant he is in the ring. I'd love to see him fight Lomachenko, Shaka Stevenson, Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia again in the next year and a half, 2 years. And if he beats all of those guys, he's #1 pound for pound in the world for me.
Right. Well,
Boom,
that's
boom.
quite a fair assessment, and you proper went off track there. We was talking about AJ and trilogies, and then you went off about your trips you've been doing to the pound for pound list. But
Stream of consciousness. Stream
whilst
of
you, whilst you were saying all that, I was just fascinated to see the rest of your t-shirt. Can we see the rest of your t-shirt?
Heidi Klum. Heidi Klum.
All right. Okay. Nice. Middle finger. Okay.
Flipping the bird.
That
Yeah.
might just be the thumbnail. That.
On that happy note.
On that happy note, Gareth, it's been a pleasure, and hopefully, else. Are you in Birmingham this week for the Matchroom show?
I may go down to when's the press conference tomorrow? Yeah.
Thursday. You got
But what day is it today? It's Tuesday, is it?
yeah. Hamza
I don't
Uddin.
know.
Looking forward to watching Hamza Uddin. His second fight should be exciting after what he did the first time.
Hamza Shiraz
Hamza
again.
Uddin.
Hamza. Oh, that Hamza. Oh
Hamza.
yeah. Oh yeah. Well, you're the guy that's pointed him out to me. Say this is a guy who could be very.
I've been watching him since you were like 15. So
Yeah, no, I remember you saying to me, and like he's your
a hot
one to
pick
watch for the future.
yeah.
Yeah.
Nice kid as well, trained by his dad. So hopefully we'll see that journey between him and his dad. But Gareth, yeah, always a pleasure. We'll see you soon.
Yeah, pleasure all mine.